Right now on Good Morning America, first look, one of the National Guard members shot in Washington, D.C. has died.
She's just passed away. She's no longer with us. She's looking down at us right now.
What we are learning about the suspected shooter as Trump orders a review of all Afghan nationals living in the U.S. The fallout this morning.
Russian President Vladimir Putin putting peace efforts into question after saying Ukrainian President Zelensky lacks legitimacy. What this means for the push to end the war as world leaders react.
Black Friday bust as tighter budgets and economic woes stunt the shopping season. How major retailers are tempting Americans this Black Friday, and why experts say you should skip the buy now, pay later plan.
And sealed with a kiss, the amazing moment a hero mailman popped the question, what made this proposal so special?
And we're taking a look back at some of the stories from the past year that we are most thankful for.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America, First Look.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Lionel Moise. We begin this morning with the death of Sarah Beckstrom, one of the two National Guard members gunned down while on patrol in Washington, D.C.
The 20-year-old Army specialist was from West Virginia and enlisted right after high school. She reportedly aspired to become an FBI agent and volunteered to work during Thanksgiving week. Overnight, a vigil honoring 20-year-old Army specialist Sarah Beckstrom, one of the two West Virginia National Guard members shot near the White House Wednesday. President Trump announcing Beckstrom died from her injuries.
Highly respected, young, magnificent person. Started service in June of 2023. Outstanding in every way.
Beckstrom's father writing on social media, "My baby girl has passed to glory," adding, "This has been a horrible tragedy." First responders and military personnel joined in a procession as Beckstrom's body was taken to the D.C. Medical Examiner's office. 24-year-old Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolfe remains in critical condition after the two were gunned down while patrolling a metro stop. Investigators say the suspect, 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakanwal, is an Afghan national and drove across the country from his home in Washington state to carry out the attack. U.S. Attorney Jeanine Pirro saying it's now time to avenge Beckstrom's death and secure justice.
You picked the wrong target, the wrong city, and the wrong country, and you will be sorry for the violence and the evil that you perpetrated in our nation's capital.
Attorney General Pam Bondi says the Justice Department could pursue the death penalty. Sources say Lakanwal was a highly trained and trusted member of an elite Afghan counterterrorism force, partnering with U.S. Special Forces and the CIA during the war in Afghanistan. He came to the U.S. in 2021 under a Biden-era program evacuating Afghan refugees during the chaotic withdrawal of U.S. forces. President Trump insisting they came into the country unvetted, despite officials saying those evacuees had been carefully scrutinized. The president lashing out at a reporter who pressed the issue.
So why do you blame the Biden administration?
Because they let him in. Are you stupid? Are you a stupid person? Because they came on a plane along with thousands of other people that shouldn't be here.
Sources tell ABC News the suspect was formally granted asylum in April under the Trump administration. Yesterday, the FBI searching the suspect's home. He shared with his wife and 5 children.
We will not stop until we interview anyone and everyone associated with the subject, the house, and every piece of his life.
Both Sarah Beckstrom and Andrew Wolfe's National Guard orders in D.C. were set to expire this weekend.
Now to that deadly inferno in Hong Kong, crews are conducting a final search of the high-rise apartment complex that went up in flames, killing at least 128 people. Dozens of others are still unaccounted for after that fire engulfed 7 of 8 towers. Even 2 days later, smoke continues to drift out of the buildings, and the complex was undergoing renovation. It's believed the flames spread on the scaffolding outside each building.
New hardline statements from Vladimir Putin as President Trump pushes to end the war in Ukraine. Putin says no draft peace plan has been agreed to, adding that it's pointless to sign any documents with President Zelensky, claiming that Zelensky lacks legitimacy. Putin is also ruling out a ceasefire unless Ukrainian troops withdraw from territory that Russia claims. Now, he made the comments as U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff plans to head to Moscow next week to discuss the proposal.
Pope Leo is in Istanbul this morning, where he'll meet with spiritual leaders of the world's Orthodox Christians. The Pope is encouraging Turkey to be a source of stability in the global conflict he calls a piecemeal world war, and is praising the country's historic role as a bridge between the East and the West. In short, Pope Leo says his overall message of his Mideast mission is one of peace and unity.
We are now experiencing a phase marked by heightened level of conflict on the global level. We must in no way give in to this. The future of humanity is at stake.
Pope Leo says he'll carry that message to Lebanon, where he'll be on Sunday. Lebanon has the largest percentage of Christians in the Middle East, but it's been rocked by spillover from the Gaza conflict.
More than 130 million Americans are expected to hit stores this weekend to kick off the holiday shopping season. And they'll definitely find some good deals. But experts warn, beware of fake bargains. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, crowds like these might be a thing of the past, but it's still the biggest shopping day of the year. But on this Black Friday, shoppers may not spend as much.
We have to take a cut in when it comes to the luxury things, but the necessities definitely come first.
A recent survey found shoppers will spend about 4% less this Black Friday and Cyber Monday than last year, about $622. Inflation, the government shutdown, and weak jobs numbers all contributing to the lowest consumer confidence numbers since April.
That tightening of the budget we really see coming from concerns about rising prices, as well as concerns about the future outlook of the economy over the next 6 to 12 months.
But to attract those holiday dollars, some retailers are offering big discounts. Walmart, Target, and Amazon dropping the PlayStation 5 Slim from $449. And Apple AirPods Pro 2, normally $249 at Amazon and Walmart.
We're going to be getting up bright and early.
But beware of manipulative sales tactics like buy one, get one free. Experts warn the regular price may be inflated to discount the second one. And if some websites say only 2 left in stock, experts say that warning may not be true, with retailers relying on a shopper's panic response. And if you decide to buy but can't pay right now, retailers are hyping buy now, pay later. Nearly 2/3 of shoppers plan to use financing options, some apps even allowing shoppers to pay it off in installments with no interest. But experts say that could lead to overspending and accumulating too much debt.
There is good spending news. The National Retail Federation expects shoppers to spend 4% more than last year in November and December, more than $1 trillion. And besides Black Friday, there's Small Business Saturday, the nationwide push to buy local. Sophie, Lionel. Andrea, thanks. Well, it was a shaky start to the holiday for most Alaskans. They were jolted by a 6.0 magnitude earthquake centered near Anchorage. No major damage or injuries have been reported, but the quake did send this freaked out little boy running from the living room to his parents.
A new round of storms is making for treacherous post-holiday travel in the Midwest and Northeast. Heavy snow, freezing temps, and whiteout conditions made for a messy Thanksgiving as the U.S. saw a 15-year high in travel. And now a second lake effect system is set to dump an additional 6 to 12 inches of snow in areas around the Great Lakes. Meanwhile, a cross-country storm is expected to bring heavy rain and also snow from Minneapolis to Houston this weekend.
Time now for your morning weather.
Good morning. We're tracking lake effect snow and a cross-country storm. First, the lake effect. We're talking places from Erie to just south of Buffalo, maybe an additional 6 to 12 inches of snow today, also between Syracuse and Watertown. Could be localized whiteout conditions in that area. Lake effect snow warnings there. The cross-country storm is going to be spreading snow from the Dakotas across Iowa and Illinois, especially into the day tomorrow. That's going to be a very high-impact event. Places like Chicago could be receiving 6 to 12 inches of snow before this is all said and done. Meteorologist Jeff Smith, ABC News.
Coming up, the moment a hero mailman popped the question.
Also ahead, from upsets on the field to thrills in the crowd, the biggest moments from the Thanksgiving Day football games.
And a heartfelt message from the Queen of Country.
I have seen you grow from my best friend to my girlfriend and now to my wife. So
yes. Oh, that's Illinois mail carrier Jalen Lockhart with a surprise Thanksgiving proposal to his girlfriend in front of loved ones, including his sort of newly adopted family, the Millers. 1 year ago, Guy Miller was walking when his dog suddenly took off running, pulling Miller to the ground where he hit his head and passed out. Now, that's when mail carrier Lockhart jumped in to help, likely saving Miller from a worse fate. But congratulations to them.
Yes, big congrats. What a hero. Well, a fleet of UPS planes grounded after that deadly crash in Louisville, Kentucky will not be back in service in time for the peak holiday season. UPS now says the MD-11s have been grounded indefinitely because inspections and potential repairs will be more extensive than initially expected. 14 people were killed when an engine on the cargo plane detached during takeoff. UPS says it will rely on contingency plans to deliver for customers during the peak season.
There were many surprises on the football field on Thanksgiving. Despite a strong start for the Chiefs with an interception and a touchdown for KC in the first 2 minutes, the Cowboys fought their way back to a 31-28 victory. The win makes for 3 in a row for Dallas.
But Cowboy fans weren't the only football fans to get a Thanksgiving Day surprise.
Ladies and gentlemen, Detroit's own Eminem. So like a wax, I spit on these raps, long as you feel them to the day I drop. You never say that I'm not killing them.
In Detroit, fans got an unexpected thrill during the halftime show when Eminem took the stage during Jack White's performance. The Lions lost 24-31 to the Packers, and in the late game, the Bengals bested the Ravens 32-14.
Despite struggling with her health and mourning the loss of her husband earlier this year, Dolly Parton had an especially upbeat message for her fans. She echoed a line from one of her most iconic songs, wishing everyone the best.
I am so thankful for all of you and for the memories that we've shared through the years. So happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and just know that I will always love you.
And we love you, Dolly. Parton postponed her Las Vegas residency due to those health issues, which she's calling her 100,000-mile checkup.
Coming up, we are looking at some of this year's stories.
Yeah, specifically the ones that we are most thankful for. Stick around.
Welcome back to Good Morning America First Look. And staying in the Thanksgiving spirit, we are taking a look at the stories this year that we are most thankful for.
Yeah, and some of them were covered by our own Danny New, who is breaking them down. Good morning, Danny.
Yeah, guys, and since we're still in the Thanksgiving mood, let's take a look back at stories about gratitude. First up, a woman in San Diego who is very grateful for her dog and her dog's life-saving nose.
How did I get my gluten detection dog? I trained her.
This is Suki, a certified cutie and a certified gluten detection dog.
How essential is Suki to your life?
She is such a game changer for me.
For California's Kendra Williams here, who has celiac disease, her 5-year-old Portuguese water dog has been trained to smell mom's food and give the signal if there are any traces of gluten, a protein found in wheat, barley, and rye. According to the Cleveland Clinic, when you ingest gluten with celiac disease, your immune system starts attacking the gluten, damaging your small intestine. Around 3 million Americans have this autoimmune disease. So when Kendra goes out to eat, for example, Suki will boop her if the food is safe, and if it's not,
Yes.
Suki will alert Kendra with a little paw action.
It took a lot of work to get here, but she is a wonderful girl.
She's so cute. Now to a father and son getting attention for all the time that they spend in the studio.
Sing something for the people.
Donkey, donkey, donkey. What is it like to host a podcast with your 3-year-old son?
Whatever he wants to talk about, he controls the conversation. He controls the whole show.
Probably sounds about right. Though usually for Frank here and this naturally gifted orator, Zen Martin, the topic often turns to
Dinosaurs.
Or in an interview, the sound his monster truck makes.
Let me hear it.
Whoa!
Now this all started last summer unintentionally.
Tell the microphone, say, my name is Zen.
My name is Zen.
When Frank was waiting for a guest in this studio near their Maryland home and just started interviewing Zen.
I'm thinking he isn't even speaking in full sentences. He's speaking in gibberish. No one's going to really but you know what? They might find it funny. Let's just see how it goes. And then 100 million views later.
After many viral clips, Frank and Zen now have a whole army of what they call their internet aunties. One of the aunties even sent them the shirts they're wearing, and some have gone perhaps too far.
Someone has made a U-turn in traffic, got out of their car, and tried to come and pinch his cheeks.
Frank says his favorite part of this whole podcast experience has been the time he and Zen have gotten to spend together.
What do you think Zen will say when he's older and he goes back and watches all this?
He's going to say, why was you always filming me, bruh? And then he's going to get even older and he's going to say thank you.
If you want to check out their podcast, it is rightfully called The Zen Martin Show. Okay, up next, from a father and son to 3 brothers who crossed an ocean together. We'll be right back. Welcome back. We did 2 stories with these brothers from Scotland, but let's skip to the second one after they all made history together. An arrival in Australia 139 days in the making.
Over the weekend, 3 brothers from Scotland finally completed their 9,000-mile journey, becoming the fastest group to ever row across the Pacific Ocean unsupported. I spoke with Ewan, Jamie, and Lachlan McLean about 36 hours later, still aboard the same vessel they used when they first rowed out from Peru in April. The McLean brothers say their work is not quite done yet. With this journey, they wanted to raise £1 million for clean water projects in Madagascar, which has been an ongoing mission of theirs for years. After 139 days, their fundraiser sits at almost £900,000, which is over $1 million. Still,
although we're on land now, we're still going to work hard until we get there.
While I'm sure Australian pizza is underrated, I did promise him if they're ever in New York, I would love to take them to some of my favorite slice spots here in the Big Apple. Okay, now from history in the sport of rowing to a cat making his name known in football.
Arch Manning! Touchdown! With college football's first full Saturday of the season coming this weekend, many eyes will be on quarterback Arch Manning and the Texas Longhorns. But over the past few weeks, many fans have been obsessed with a different member of an Orange college football team, Pudge, the unofficial mascot of Bowling Green.
Everybody loves his face.
Pudge belongs to George Carlson on the left there, who is the Falcons' long snapper. Over the past month, George has been bringing this 3-year-old terror to the locker room on off days to boost morale.
Kind of sits and eats and sleeps, and that's it. That's all he does.
And maintains the locker room.
Yeah, and maintains the locker room, keeps people on their toes.
Going to the end zone. High pass caught by Finn Hogan.
Enter wide receiver Finn Hogan, who began sharing these now viral videos of Pudge on TikTok. One commenter writing, "We love Pudge, more, please, please, please."
Definitely blew up a lot more than I ever thought I was actually going to.
Baby, you gonna blow my high.
Since then, Pudge has now even gotten his own jersey.
He loves it. He kind of just sits and hangs out in it.
And the school has even teamed up with a distributor to start selling Pudge t-shirts. And by the way, all this attention comes as the school was already getting quite a bit.
Is gone.
As they gear up for their first season under former Heisman winner and football legend Eddie George as their head coach. Here he is holding Pudge, and if you think he looks a little uncomfortable, he has a pretty good excuse.
I'm allergic to cats. So I was like, what the hell is a cat doing in the locker room, initially. But Pudge is cute. He's become a part of the family.
Since our story aired, Pudge has exploded in popularity, even getting a feature on ESPN's College Game Day. He is an integral part of the sport now. Rightfully so.
Checking more top stories, one of 2 National Guard members gunned down in an ambush on the streets of Washington, D.C. has died. Sarah Beckstrom was just 20 years old. Air Force Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolfe, also injured in that attack, is still in critical condition, fighting for his life.
President Trump is suggesting that strikes inside Venezuela are imminent. In a Thanksgiving message to American troops, he said the U.S. will start taking action against alleged Venezuelan drug traffickers on land very soon. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro said his country stands ready to defend itself.
A murder investigation is underway in Trinidad and Tobago after an American was found dead. The victim has been identified as 43-year-old Christopher Brown of Colorado, stabbed to death in a seaside village in Tobago. Friends say he left them after dinner to go buy marijuana. A suspect is in custody. Today's weather, mostly dry and windy in the northeast, heavy snow piling up around the Great Lakes, rain and snow in the northwest, and mostly dry and cool across the south.
And finally, just a few days left in December, until December.
And so we are taking a look at some of this year's hottest advent calendars and their popularity on social media. On social media right now, advent calendars are all the rage.
I've unboxed 19 advent calendars already, so here are my top 5.
The holiday tradition dates back to 19th century Germany, beginning with a children's book and some chalk marks, serving as a creative way to count down to Christmas. But these days, the annual custom is putting Christmas consumerism into overdrive.
Dare I say I bought every single advent calendar on the market?
Creators are spending big bucks to show viewers whether or not it's worth their dime.
I accidentally spent $11,000 on an advent calendar.
Sarah Morris, a content creator in Tennessee, has opened 20 advent calendars so far this season. She calls this her biggest content series of the year.
How much money do you think you've spent on advent calendars so far this season?
Thousands. A few thousand, probably.
Wow.
It's an investment, but I look at it as a business investment for my business.
The products and prices can vary widely. From this 5-foot, $200 chocolate bar advent calendar at Costco to this $20 beauty one from Target. Macy's says it's offering more than 100 advent calendars this season for all ages, including toys, food, and beauty. When it comes to luxury items, advent calendars can make that purchase more affordable in some cases. But think about this before swiping your card.
I caution consumers over-consuming on the little stuff. That's when it doesn't become affordable anymore and could potentially put people at risk for overspending.
And that's your Good Morning America first look.
But yeah, advent calendars. I want a candy advent calendar.
I know, me too.
I need it.
Some chocolate, some beauty products.
Or a Beyonce advent calendar.
There has to be a Beyonce advent calendar out there. Maybe with some ornaments.
Okay. Cowboy Carter, you guys have a great day.